So it isn't a question of your ability, it's a question of whether you believe you can do it at the moment. Now, confidence doesn't have the same impact in a casual round that it has in a pressure round. Any given day, we can goof around with our buddies and light it up. Okay? And all of you folks have seen people at leagues having a good time, half or more drunk, okay? Wandering around and shooting the lights out. Okay? We've all seen it. And sometimes it's like, well, how can that person possibly do that? They couldn't walk a straight line if the cop was telling them to do it. Nonetheless, make a 50-foot putt and they just did it. Okay? Why? Because any given day, the game's easy. But you're not here at a clinic to any given day occasionally throw good shots. You can already do that. You don't need me or anybody else to do that. You can do that sitting here today. Okay? What you would like to do is to be able to respond to pressure. So, how many here play tournaments? Okay? Most of you. Okay? There's a whole lot of difference between a casual round and a round with your best playing buddies, or if you get into a group that's better than you, okay? That's a step up in pressure. Then, of course, there are league rounds where people are keeping score, and you might win or lose something. More pressure. Then there are tournaments, but then there are also big tournaments. I started on a tough hole at Worlds this year. And I was in a group, Program Masters. Everybody on my card was 950 rated or better. Okay? From all over America. I had Wisconsin, I had Kentucky, I had Florida. Maybe. Okay? We started out a long, tough hole. By happenstance, I was at the top of the card. I threw first and threw a clean shot. Okay? Everybody followed me with a clean shot. Now we have to hit the dumb little tunnel, second drive tunnel to get to the basket, 320 feet away or something, through a tight tunnel. I threw last because I had the best drive. Okay? The first guy gets up, shakes. Next guy gets up, shakes. Next guy gets up, shakes. I'm thinking, this is a bad sign. This is a very bad sign. It's the first hole of the World Championships. Okay? And these guys have just shaked 3 in a row. So I threw what appeared to be a great shot. Nah, hit a tree, rolled 50 feet the wrong way. Thank you very much. We all started with a bogey. Okay?
Roll hole? Of course.
Red, 7.
Oh, good hole.
Okay. Now the next hole, hole 8 on the red, is the toughest hole, toughest drive in the World Championships. It is a crazy, ridiculous tight tunnel. Stupid, ridiculous, crazy tight tunnel. Okay? With water and thick nonsense in every direction. It's only 250 feet. Okay? But it is stupidly tight. So, on that hole, I drive first, put it right through the tunnel, no problem. Everybody else hits the first tree. That was not a function of the skill of the group. It was a function of the pressure of the group. In warm-up, we could probably stand at that shot and all throw it through the middle. Maybe 2 or 3 times each. But at the start of the Worlds, after everybody bogeys the first hole, with all that negativity building, it's pressure. It was only pressure and nothing else. There are sort of 2 theories of dealing with pressure. Avoidance and confrontation. Okay? You've seen people that avoid it. Don't tell me my score. Don't talk to me before I throw. avoiding pressure. We see people that walk up, put down their mini, putt. Why do you putt so fast? Well, that way I don't think about it. One way to handle pressure is to avoid it. Do it so fast, blank everything out of your mind, throw. Okay? Try to become a blank slate. That is one way to do it. It is not, however, the most effective way to do it. Because you aren't good enough at avoiding pressure. You can't really blank your mind. You think you can, you can't. Sorry, it's still there. Especially if bad things happen. Blank your mind on the first hole, so be it. Get 2 or 3 bogeys in a row, now try to blank your mind. Sorry. The whole time you've been walking those fairways for the past 20 minutes, it hasn't been blank. You can't do it long term. Okay, so one way is to avoid. It's not a long-term solution. It is not what the best players do. The best players confront pressure. They confront their fears. They stare it in the eye. And the best players thrive on it. The best players are more likely to hit that putt on the last hole tied than they are on the first hole, when who knows what's going to happen in a tournament. Okay? The advantage of confronting your fears is it allows you to think. It allows you to concentrate. If you were taking a test, okay? Say it's an important test in your life. For example, they made me take a bar exam. I went to college for 9 years to have the chance to take one test that either meant I was going to be a lawyer or I was going to be a law clerk. Okay? One test. On that test, you figure I concentrated as hard as I could. That I carefully read every word and considered it. Hell yes, I did. I'd invested $100,000 in 9 years of my life to take that test. Am I just going to step up and say, well, B, C, A? No way, that's ridiculous. Right? No one would do that. On the most important putt of your life, it's crazy to think you'll just snap it. It makes far more sense to set up, to go through the routine that you do, to make sure you're balanced, to make sure you've thought about the wind, you thought about the topography. Okay? Concentration is useful. And when you have concentration added to pressure, you get adrenaline. You've heard about the little grandmother holding a car off her loved one, right? Lifting 900 pounds off the ground. You've heard about that before? Okay? Adrenaline, baby. Adrenaline has a huge advantage. It is given to you by your ancestors, by your genes, in that fight or flight tendency that we all have. Okay? That's pressure, fight or flight. Don't run, fight. Okay, is the answer. But the reason that our species is alive, in part, is because of adrenaline. Because when the damn bear is running at us, now is not the time to do stupid things. Now is not the time to panic. Right? Okay. So, pressure is either a huge detriment to you, or it is a benefit to you. And if you can do nothing more than neutralize pressure, then now you have bested half the field in your division. Because they're harmed by pressure. Just by neutralizing, not even benefiting from it, just by neutralizing pressure. Don't play any worse than you normally do because of pressure. Now, you're at least the 50th percentile of your division, no matter what division you're playing. Okay? At the point you can take pressure and let it benefit you, now you are actually using all of that survival instinct to your advantage. And the better the player is, the more they want to take the last putt to determine who wins. Okay?